Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Extinct Bricks Originals! And for this episode, we will be featuring the LEGO compatible custom Extinct Bricks Originals Deinocheirus. But before we get on with the video, I'd like to say thanks to youtube.com audio library for this awesome background music. Please like and subscribe on my channel. Also, please follow me on my social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course here in YouTube. I also have a LYKA account which is only available here in the Philippines but will be global soon. You can support the channel by not skipping the ads on all my videos. Thanks everyone! The Guess This PC contest winners will be announced at the end of the video, but for now, here is how you can join this contest. Click on the Extinct Bricks icon and it will lead you to the homepage. On the homepage, you will find the community link. Just click on it and there you'll find the post on the Guess This PC contest. It's an odd looking creature, but nonetheless, it looks really majestic. Let's now move on with the making of the Deinocheirus. At first, I take a look at some reference photos and from there, I imagine what other parts it would actually be consisting of. This is actually the planning part of the entire process. And then I move on with kit bashing since I already have the list of all the parts that I will be using. So it will be actually consisting of course, several parts of the large theropod and also several parts from the tail as well as wings that came from the mutant raptor pteranodon. So those are the parts. And then I moved on with sculpting of course, and for the sculpting part I used a 2-part epoxy non-sag. And then I added several more details such as this wing details which I actually used foam material, which is very easy to handle and actually very nice to paint with. Okay, so this is how it looks like, the foam material. This is the same material that I also use for the feathering on the tail, which I will be putting some more details as well. And here is the finished sculpt and of course the additional details on the feathering. I think it looks good. However, you will notice at the far end of the painting video that I actually added several more details to the neck part of this creature, just to add that thickness of feathering also on that particular region. So after that, all the sculpting and the wet sanding is actually done. I moved on with primering, and for this one I actually used a white primer, and you will see later why. So for this part of the video, I'm adding in dark grays on the topmost portion on the of this figure, and then this will be carried over with the lighter gray on the middle section. This will actually create a gradient for this one, and that is the main reason why it is actually base colored as white, so that most of the parts on the bottom as well as the neck are actually white. I went on with darker colors for the arms as well as the throat. You will see later on that there will be different colors on the head of course, and then the arms and also the legs. So just to carry over the overall theme of the arms being dark, I made this detailing very similar to the reference that I'm actually looking at. The feathering details of the colors of dark brown is actually carried on to the feathering of that of the tail. Initially, I wanted it to have a very colorful palette, but however, looking at the Deinocheirus from before, I noticed that it is rather colorful, so I went on with a design that is less colorful or subdued on this one, but with a little pop of colors here and there. So one of the pop-up colors that I actually add was colors on the wings, on the arms, as well as the colors of the neck region, wherein there is I guess whenever they would be interacting with the same species, the male would actually create color spot on the neck, such as present in other birds when they are actually mating. That is just my idea, but let me know in the comments if you agree with that or not. I'm actually open to your criticisms as well as, suggestions on how to further include behavior of dinosaurs in all my work, of course. So, continuing on with the painting process, the big section is actually colored light yellow, and then I added several more details to it to make it more interesting. The head part and the eye part actually is colored black so that it will have a good contrast when we put the eyeballs on it. So here it is, and then I added a little bit of stripe running down from the head section towards the neck. Okay, so you probably can see already that I added the red details on the throat, as well as adding several more fur details. Actually, they are more of like proto feathers in my opinion, and yeah, so it looks actually good. This is the first time that I've actually done such detailing on one of my feathered theropods at least, and I think I will be doing the same on my other theropods in the future. So here's the Deinocheirus with some of the details. I think that would be all for our making of the Deinocheirus. Let us now proceed with Assembrix. You can do it, and let's vote in. For the Assembrix video, let us count the number of parts. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 11. So we have 11 parts to it. Let's begin by connecting the head with the lower jaw, and then connecting it to the neck part. Let us now connect it to the body. Okay, so after that, let's connect the hands to the arms. So we have the left one and then the right. Okay, so let's connect the right arm to the body and as well as that of the left. Now it's time for us to attach the legs, and then of course lastly the tail. And there you have it, the finished LYKA compatible custom Deinocheirus. Now it's time for us to have a closer look. And of course, for the closer look, Evie is here and is excited to be showing off this particular creature. As I've said earlier in the video, I find this dinosaur a bit odd but still really magnificent. So this is the artist render that I actually used for this one. I think his render of the Deinocheirus is really impressive, and I like the color details on it. EB will be coming back for later for some size comparisons, but for now let's have a closer look. So as I've described earlier in the making of the Deinocheirus, you can see that all of the feather details are actually present here, with stripings made for the proto feathers, and as well details on the neck region and the beak. For the articulation, you can see that it has this movable neck, the head can open and close its mouth, it has this movable arms and also hands. It can move its leg and also its tail a little bit. And that's about it for the closer look on the Deinocheirus. Let us now move on with size comparisons. And for the size comparisons, of course, we will be comparing it with the regular size minifigure as if it was a real human, and of course with some of my other custom dinosaurs. So here is Evie, and comparing the size with the Deinocheirus, it is probably about the same size of that of real Deinocheirus. So I have a reference here for you to see. Okay, so since we have that done, now let's now compare the Deinocheirus with some of my custom figures. First up, here is the Extinctrix Ornithomimys. It is noted that the Deinocheirus is actually an ornithomimid belonging to the Ornithomimys family, and that is why I actually added this comparison. Definitely, the Deinocheirus is much larger than this Ornithomimys, both from the side views and the top views. You can see here some resemblance in family, especially that of the neck. Both of them don't have teeth, you know. Alright, so let's move on with our next comparison. Here is the Therizinosaurus, or Therizinosaurus as some would call it. They both have feathers, and although they look similar, I guess they are not of the same family. The Deinocheirus has this hump on the back, and then also it has a larger head. Both have large arms actually, and although the Therizinosaurus or the Therizinosaurus actually has longer fingernails or claws, if you want to call it. So those are the main differences of what a Therizinosaurus and also a Deinocheirus has. But in terms of my custom, you can see the similarities. Both has feathers on the tail version. The Deinocheirus has feathering on the arms, which the Therizinosaurus doesn't have here. Okay, so those are among the differences between the two dinosaurs. Alright, so let us now move on with the next comparison. Would you guess? Of course, this is the Extinct T-Rex from Camp Cretaceous, also from Jurassic World and Jurassic Park. So here is Rexy from a few videos back. You can see that the difference is not so much in terms of size. The Deinocheirus is definitely taller than the T-Rex because of the hump on the back. It's a little bit longer because of the neck, and also the head is quite long. But the head of the T-Rex is actually bigger than the Deinocheirus. Rexy also has a longer tail, and it has, of course, teeth, which the Deinocheirus doesn't have. Rawr! I really cannot do a T-Rex roar properly, but yeah, go ahead, T-Rex. And that is it for our Rexy comparison. Let us now move on with the next comparison. And I'm guessing I want to put here the Extinct Spinosaurus from JP3. Now, the reason why I actually placed or compared the Jurassic Park Spinosaurus here is because they are very similar in shape. You can see the Spinosaurus also has a neck, it has a long snout, and it also has this sail on its back. Although technically the Deinocheirus doesn't have a sail, it's more of a extension of the dorsal spine. But nonetheless, they look actually a little bit similar in terms of overall shape. One difference is the Spinosaurus has this large, long, conical teeth, which are very similar to that of the crocodile. The shape of the teeth actually suggested that the Spinosaurus was mainly a piscivorous dinosaur. So since both are large theropods, which one would actually win? Of course, the Spinosaurus. Well, anyways, let's move on with the Extinct roll call. But before that, please do watch all the rest of the videos on the comparisons that I did. Now let's have the roll call. The Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3, Rexy, Therizinosaurus, Ornithomimus, and of course, here is the Deinocheirus. I hope you like it. Now it's time for us to move on with the next portion of the video. This is the last looks on the Deinocheirus. The name Deinocheirus actually came from the two Greek words Deinos, meaning horrible, and chair, meaning hand. Thus, it is also known as the horrible hand. It shows, right? It lived in the late Cretaceous period around 71 to 69 million years ago and is part of the Ornithomimosauria family. It can grow up to a length of 36 feet, a weight of 6,358 kilograms, and a height of 16 feet. Wow, that's large for an ornithomimid. It's relaxing time for EB, and there's no other perfect way to enjoy it than with the Deinocheirus. And that's it for the video on the Deinocheirus. I hope you like it as much as I did. It is now time for us to announce the Guesses PC contest winners. And for this round, we have actually 10 lucky picks, and here they are. Jack Task 1C, Ivan Ostojic, Zano Hano, Orion Kroom, Rivan Tapa, Brandon Cruz, Mastersaurus Rex, Tamara Moreira, Dino Royal Cruz, and Lossim Speckhugger. Congratulations everyone, and now for our top 10 winners.
Top 10.
Mr. T-Rex,
Top 9.
8184,
Top 8.
Zaki PH,
Top
GL
7.
Jeffrey,
Top 6.
Jurassic Bricks,
Top
Victor
5.
Gabriel,
Top
Alden
4.
Todd,
Top 2.
Tivon Malik Karachi,
Top 2.
Irfan Raduwan, and
Top
Randy Omar.
4.
Congratulations everyone! And I'll see you on the next Guesses PC contest! Also, our babies Moira and Nasher has their own vlog now, The Adventures of Moira and Nasher. Please watch their videos and support their channel as well by subscribing. And as we always would say, let your inner dino break roar!